The case that happened in Ecuador was the assassination of Fernando Villavicencio, a 60-year-old presidential candidate. He was shot dead in broad daylight in the capital Quito shortly after leaving a building during a campaign event in the capital. And well, this is just one out of many examples of what is happening in Ecuador right now, because Ecuador is passing through its worst period of violence in history. We must remember that last year, Ecuador broke records of homicides. In terms of homicides per 100,000 inhabitants, Ecuador broke its records, all-time records. And this happens mostly due to advance of drug cartels that no longer find space to expand in Colombia and Mexico, two major hubs of drug trafficking in Latin America, and they are now going to the Andes. So in addition to Ecuador, violence is also increasing fast in Chile, which was once one of the safest countries in Latin America. So this is the heart of what is happening now in Ecuador. So when you think of violent countries in Latin America, you usually think of Haiti, of Colombia, or in Mexico, or even El Salvador back in the years, and Honduras is mostly the Central American countries. But well, Ecuador is taking all headlines in the last few months and last few years because of the soaring violence there, and mostly because of the advance of drug cartels. They are fighting for territory in and outside prisons in Ecuador. So besides the rise of urban violence in Ecuador, with an outbreak of violence in Guayaquil, a port city in Ecuador, the second largest city in Ecuador as well. We have a lot of episodes of massacres inside Ecuadorian prisons. As we covered here in the Brazilian report, we had, I guess, over 400 deaths of inmates inside Ecuadorian prisons, because those penitentiaries, those prisons are filled with people representing different gangs. And we have both those local gangs that are growing fast, and also we have the spillover of notorious drug cartels that are entering in Ecuador now. Fernando Villavicencio, for instance, shortly before being killed, he told that he was being threatened by the notorious cartel of Sinaloa, which is a Mexican cartel. A few weeks before the assassination of Villavicencio, we had the assassination of the city mayor of Manta, also a port city in Ecuador. And some people said that, some people close to Villavicencio said that the death of this mayor of Manta was linked to this Manta mayor's support to Villavicencio. So maybe these crimes can be connected. And all these crimes can be also connected to the advance of the cartels who might be masterminding behind those crimes. So this is what happened in Ecuador now. And as I said before, Ecuador broke records of homicides last year. They had the country's highest rates of homicides per 100,000 people. They have a lot of political violence. They have a lot of violence in the prisons. People are scared. There was also a recent poll, a recent survey. And Ecuador is right now the country in Latin America where people feel most insecure because of the urban violence. So it's sad, because Ecuador was not known in comparative terms compared to other Latin American nations. Ecuador was not known for being this kind of country. And unfortunately, the country became now an example of how violence could reshape not just the society, but also electoral process and also people's daily life.